Rise up! Wait! Stir! Wait! Wait! Rise up!
In the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. We're all gonna trouble the water.
This project, Stratford Shakespeare Connection, is what we call it, because we're looking at it as a project that connects us to another country, in this case Stratford, England, with a growing, really, and beautiful relationship there. To take Shakespeare's words and truly make them our own from our perspective as the Global Theatre Project, how could we incorporate a message that we think he has in some of his text that is reflective and responsive to what's happening today? Because that's what this piece we did this time is about. The world seems to be, to us, on some sort of just a path that's not very conscious and is fear-driven, and what might happen if we wake up from this sleep?
Insegna! 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 Insegna!
In thin air, air.
The project is not about the happening itself or the video, really. It's about the work. And it's about these artists coming together with sincerity because they want to make a statement in this world, and they want their art and their passion to mean something and to have an effect. And then it's about the other collaborative partners that we bring in, like Heart of Los Angeles Youth this time and Connect LA. And then it's about the people who show up that day, the kids and the university students and the other adults and the other artists, and coming together and exploring this subject. And then moving forward and creating something, creating both a theater happening and a video, and it's crazy and it's chaotic and it's beautiful.
So not all the time.
Okay.
Cosas que se ven y no se ven, que hacen corazones latir y la tierra girar.
That's just gonna be. I'm Josh. Kristen? Christine. And?
Mista. And group one's going to say, and our little...
Really what was exciting was the questions that it brought up and the discussions. For our artists, Liz and Krista, to go in to the Heart of Los Angeles Youth and work with their 35 kids and talk about global citizenship and talk about morals and responsibilities and how are Americans perceived and why do they think that, and all of these things that these kids actually never talked about before. No one asked them. And then to take that kind of a background and put it into Shakespeare's words and physical action and expression, which is also something these particular kids really have not had much of an opportunity to do.
On 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, like spokes on a wheel around the puppet.
And they talked about what fears do we have that will keep the world from being all that it could be. And so for a child to have that conversation next to some adults and young adults and all be discussing it at a serious level and then being asked to make their own expression and write a word or a phrase and put it in ink and then have that become a part of this theatrical happening.
It shall what? It shall dissolve. It shall what? It shall dissolve.
Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like.
Just expose them to a language that they've maybe never heard and certainly would have a challenge understanding, and try to give them some entryway into really his meaning and intention and his clarity of human understanding.
And then once group 2 says are now melted into air, into thin air, we take what they're saying and we keep going with it into thin air, into thin air.
Do we say that in English?
Yeah, just like those are our lines.
The opportunity for us as Americans is that in this day and age, we're a very diverse people. We are a global country. We celebrate that we are diverse, but we don't always celebrate that diversity together. So this project seemed like a real great opportunity to do that. It was so beautiful. We have Krista teaching Mandarin to, some of to her group, which had a lot of young kids in it and some college students. Who are you in the world? How are we as Americans a part of the globe, a part of this community of man? And that is a question I think we have to ask younger people. We all have to wake up. We all have to calm ourselves down and just take a moment to breathe and look at the human being either across from us or across the planet and realize, that as long as we keep disconnecting ourselves from the realities of what's happening in this world, we can't move forward.
Children of Los Angeles, make your way in! Make your way in! Make your way in, those who are young and the young at heart! There is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his gray leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. That vulgar shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies, and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes. As one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Wade in the water, wade
cruelly denied. Awake, yo soy la vida. We have been taught in careful, radiant degrees that to be a success, we must forget to participate in a world in which somos una parte. Somos una parte. Somos una parte. Somos una parte.
The cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples.
Be careful. Like the great globe itself. Yea, all which inherit shall fall. It shall
It shall dissolve. And our little life is rounded with a sleep.
We have been taught in careful gradient degrees that to be a success, we must forget to participate in a world in which we are apart.
We have been taught, even though our little life is rounded with a sleep.
Awaken!
Estimular!
Rise
Estimular!
Awake!
Estimular!
Awake!
Estimular! Estimular!
Awake!
Estimular! Estimular!
Awake!
Estimular!
And begin again!
Good. Beautiful. So that was absolutely gorgeous. We're not alone on this planet. We're not one person or one family. We are connected. And we have too much evidence of that on the negative side. So here's something that, it's a tiny little thing. It's not going to change the world, but it still has to be done. We all have to take part in something that's creative and collective and has the potential to shift us in a different direction.
It was fun. I liked when I got up on the table.
It's about working as a team and making this world a better place.
I liked it. It was really fun to do on a Saturday.
On a Saturday?
Yeah, because usually I just go home.
Storytelling and acting is not just some kind of fun hobby. It is, it's fun to do. But really, when we start to tell the stories of what it is to be human and what our responsibility is, you know, that we have something to say through the stories we tell, that we're really communicating something about the human experience, and this is completely it, and to go out into the world and say, here, this is from our hearts, this is what we have to say right now about the state of the world, and we're using theater to do it. I hope they learned a lot from it.
Started actually the original planning about which pieces of text we were going to use with my group at Actors for Autism. So it's particularly having the youth involved this year was, I think, one of the more stirring and exciting parts for me.
This was very meaningful. Like I was telling the group, it's my first experience doing a performance in which there specifically is no audience. It deals with direct participation from everyone involved, including the public. And it's a great way to get dialogue going between different communities in the city. So it seemed very, very meaningful.
We have people from so many different countries, and it's great that they can come together and... Oh! Is there a bee in me? Oh, it's a fly. It's great. That's going to be on camera. It's great that people can come together and do the same thing together and unite at a bond. So.